Hello, hello, hello everyone. Once again, I am TheFish, and I'm here to bring you guys another awesome StarCraft 2 cast. Today, we're gonna have a bit of an older replay. It's from about a month ago, but it's gonna be featuring none other than Liquid TLO. For those of you who don't know Liquid TLO, he's a member of Team Liquid, obviously, but he used to play Terran. He switched to Zerg, and he's been getting better and better and better, until the point where, if you watch his stream anytime lately, he has been streaming a lot lately. It's starting to get very, very impressive. Liquid TLO has actually been in Korea for the past few weeks, training up there, so I hope that we'll see a lot of really good things from him in the near future. And his opponent is going to be the Protoss AcerElfi, so this is going to be played on the EU server. Elfi is a very good Protoss player, and I think we should have a pretty good game here. Elfi looks like he's going to be doing a Forge Fast Expand, which sometimes can be an issue on this map if you're in close positions, but it's really not much of an issue if you're in cross positions, as the two of them have spawned. Now, the reason for that being is that you actually need 3 full buildings and an extra pylon to make this wall, I think, so it can be an issue for holding off rushes. But anyway, we should see a pretty good game from both of these two. Like I said before, PvZ is one of my favorite matchups to cast and to play. But recently the metagame has been, the Forge Fast Expand. I mean, this has been going on for a long time now, actually, but it's been the Forge Fast Expand versus a quick 3 bases for the Zerg, and then it's basically up to the Protoss to try and hold their 3rd base against using Immortals and Sentries against the mass roaches. Elfi is going to be dropping down a pylon here, so I don't know if he's going to try to do some sort of a pylon rush, or a cannon rush rather, or if this is just going to be, if this was just misplaced to try and block this hatchery. And it looks like it is actually going to be, oh, what are you doing? It is actually going to be a cannon rush, so it'll be interesting to see how TLO is going to try and hold this off. Right now he's only got 2 drones, he's pulling out 5 more to try and deal with this. This is a big investment from Elfi. I don't know if it's going to work. And what is Elfi going to do? He's going to probably cancel these 2. Yeah, canceled and canceled. So he'll only lose the 100 minerals for this pylon, but it does kind of deny TLO a little bit of mining time. It doesn't actually put the Protoss that far behind doing something like that. So, but it does put him a little bit behind. And Elfi has already thrown down his nexus, and his gateway is, it's pretty late. That's kind of the biggest disadvantage to doing stuff like that, if your tech is going to all be delayed. Anyway, so I imagine we'll probably be seeing a fast 3rd out of TLO. He's got his spawning pool down. Another option that he might want to go for is, since some of his buildings were delayed, he could go for some sort of a Zergling rush, or perhaps even a Baneling bust, but he hasn't taken any gases, so we won't be seeing that. Another feature about this map of course is Antiga Shipyard. It's been in the map pool for a while now, but one thing about this is the 3rd base for the Protoss player is kind of far away. So what I mean by that is that if you're sort of going to be, if you have stalkers and you're trying to defend against air units, they have a long way to kind of meander before you can really get to defend your 3rd base. So that's kind of an issue for this map, especially for Protoss players. It's more of an issue in against Terran, but it kind of lends itself to Zerg players going for Mutalisk sometimes, and I like to see Zerg players go for Mutalisk. But I think in this case, I'm surprised we're not seeing another base go down from. It looks like he is rallying over there. So yeah, this drone's going to go over there and throw down a 3rd hatchery, most likely. Meanwhile, TLO is getting his Overlord into position. I think this looks like it was played in the old patch, because these let's see, range 3. So this was the previous patch, actually. So TLO's not going to have very fast Overlords and very strong Queens in this match. Anyway, Elfi is going to be pumping at a Stalker. He'll use the Stalker Force to scout out TLO, make sure that he has taken his 3rd base. He'll probably also try and scout out what kind of units TLO is going to be going for. TLO moving out with a few Zerglings. He's actually going to be skirting around the watchtower, which is smart, because they won't get spotted by this Stalker here. So nice little metagaming there by TLO, moving his Wings, and you can see that he's ahead in supply by a fairly significant amount. So this Stalker will see the 3rd base of TLO, so its job is done. It's going to try and pick off an Overlord before he has to escape. Ling Speed coming out now, as well as the Roach Warren and a Evolution Chamber for TLO. So we will be seeing some 3-base Roach play out of him. TLO is a really interesting player to watch. He's been using a lot of things. It's a weird shadow there. I'm not sure what this shadow is of. Anyway, TLO, he likes to do different things. And uh-oh, it looks like Elfi has overextended himself with these Stalkers. Those are probably going to get taken out. Even without Ling Speed, he's going to lose these Stalkers. And that's kind of a pretty big blow. So TLO already taking the lead in this match. Anyway, back to what I was saying. TLO has been using Queens quite well, even before the patch where they got buffed. He would bring them in with his main army to do transfusions, to drop creep tumors in weird places. He likes to even do things with Nidus Worms and drops, especially when he's talking about using roaches. He'll use Hydralisks a lot as well, which is something you don't see because Colossi are so good against them. But TLO is actually pretty good at making sure that the Hydralisks stay alive in key situations. So TLO is pretty good at doing stuff like that. He's going to be working down these rocks because he's going to probably want to do that at some point anyway, if Elfi decides to maybe go for some sort of a 3rd base at some point. So what is Elfi going to be doing? It doesn't look like he's going for any sort of all-in here. He's taking up the Colossi. He's got an Immortal coming out. Robotics Bay just now finishing up. A couple more gateways coming down. So what it looks like he's going to be trying to do is get a couple of Colossi out so that he can defend against a Roach timing attack, which is going to be very strong from TLO. Because of that little cannon rush, he's able to get ahead slightly, and he didn't lose any Queens or anything. So, ooh, an Observer's going to fly right into a Spore Crawler, so that's not good. Elfi losing his Spore Crawler. These Overlords are very nicely positioned by TLO, able to kind of spot out things. The rocks are going to be taken down. Zergling's in a nice position to see what's going on. And basically TLO at this point can essentially just sit back on his 3 bases and try to get a very nice scary army and try and push. Or he can try and take control of the middle of the map to try and gain control of these rich mineral fields. And this was played on EU ladder, so they are in fact gold bases instead of, in a lot of tournament plays, they're regular bases. And it doesn't really make that big of a difference, except actually in this matchup it can be good for Zerg players. Sometimes they'll actually put their natural or their 3rd base here, and it kind of can be really good against Forge Fast Expanding Protoss. So we do that. TLO electing not to do that this game. So yeah, let's see. So Elfi looking to take a 3rd here, but it looks like TLO wants to continue leveraging his advantages. He's going to be continuing to add on Roach production. He's got Glial Reconstitution, +1 attacks, +2 armor, and 7 Overlords on the way, so it looks like he may just be going for a max-out Roach push here. Elfi's actually pushing out here, and this might be a good move by him. This sort of timing around 11 minutes is, well, it's getting a little late. I mean, TLO's going to be maxed out very soon here. So he's going to try and pick off some of these Roaches. TLO's going to go for a run-by here. He's going to be running up towards the 3rd base. There is no 3rd base there yet, though, so he won't be able to deny it. But he does split up his forces, which is going to allow him to save pretty much everything from running into Elfi's army. He's going to run in with a few Zerglings. Not a big deal if he loses them, so he wants to get some scouting information, split them up, run around, just in general, keep his opponent off guard. Elfi, meanwhile, has been setting up some proxy pylons in various places. So I did just do a little pause right there. My friend's talking about Inferno farming in Diablo, and I don't know, I just have this feeling like Diablo's not going to last all that long. But I don't know if you guys have a different opinion on that. Let me know. I don't know about any of these new patches. I heard 1.03 or whatever, the newest patch, is kind of helping it out. So anyway, Elfi pushing into TLO's 3rd, and TLO's actually going to have to evacuate here. But meanwhile, TLO's pushing at Elfi's front, so we've got a little bit of a base trade scenario going on here. TLO gonna maybe try and muster up some forces to defend his main. He's got spine callers coming down. Meanwhile, he's picked up all these pylons, and all these buildings are going to be unpowered. The warp prison is gone, so that would have been a nice thing. He's got roaches in his main. Elfi's base is going to be forfeit here. Now he's going to be pushing it into the natural of TLO. He's going to be doing a lot of damage here. These spine crawlers are just not going to be up in time, and even if they were, there's 2 Colossi here, so that's not going to do very much. And then, meanwhile, though, Game of Drones... Game of Thrones is a good book, by the way. Read the books. Watch the TV show. Very entertaining. He's got 2 bases over on the side there, so sometimes trying to win a base trade against the Zerg player can be difficult, since it's pretty easy for them to drop a hatchery somewhere if they manage to escape some of their drones. Meanwhile, he does have a bunch of roaches up here. He's got a Nidus, so it looks like he's going to try to evacuate all of these units, which is pretty smart here. But Elfi, he's going to be pushing right up into the main. I don't know if TLO is going to be able to get a Nidus up in time to save all of his drones. We'll have to see what happens. Supply is still heavily favoring TLO, but this many tech units is going to be really hard to deal with, especially since now all of TLO's buildings are dying. He's going to need to remake everything, and as a Zerg player, that's really frustrating. So wisely, Game of Drones, all of his drones are coming over here. He does have some corruptors out, so really smart by him to get a few of those out before his base dies. He's running around the map trying to make sure that he's looking for every possible building. Elfi does have a few pylons left, but his entire base is destroyed at this point. Let's see, what buildings does he have? He has these pylons and gateways, and then he's got a simulator, and it looks like that's going to be his last stand. I'm not sure if he has... He does have probes here, so he can remake the Nexus somewhere. And TLO's overlords are hiding, pooping over here. So, wow, a genuine base trade scenario going on here. This is Elfi's last building, and Elfi seems to be onto... Oh boy, he's going to lose one of his Colossi, it looks like. He does seem to be onto this. That TLO's got his last bases over here, so he's going to push for them. This Colossi getting dangerously low on health, but it looks like all the corruptors are going to die. Now TLO is going to have to try and deal with this with pure roaches and lings. He's got another assimilator coming down over here. Now Elfi is pushing into the new natural with TLO. And he's really going to protect this Colossi. It's kind of the one thing keeping him in this game as well as this immortal. And TLO, is he going to try and fight this army? It looks like he's just going to back off. Huh, interesting. Well, if TLO can take out these assimilators, he can win the game. The problem is he doesn't really know where they are. There's also another one over here, so Elfi doing a really good job at trying to stay in this game, but he doesn't want to lose all his probes. If he loses all his probes, that's going to be really tough. And he's going to take out all these hatcheries. TLO's got another one coming down over here, but this is a regular base trade. And oh man, it looks like... Is TLO actually going to find this one? Well, he saw this because of this extractor, and he's going to run right into this assimilator, and that's his last building, I think. The game is just going to end if this dies. What's Elfi going to do? He's going to quickly throw down another assimilator over here, so... Elfi's still in this game, hanging on by a thread, hanging on by an assimilator, and TLO still with a supply lead, but that's all in roaches, and it's not going to do much against... The one immortal and one Colossi are really the key here, as well as the sentries able to use Force Shield, and Guardian Shield does help as well. So what's Elfi going to do? He probably wants to throw down a Nexus, maybe. He's going to try and take this gold base. That's a pretty smart move, but TLO's here with all these roaches, and oh boy, this is going to probably be the last fight. Who's going to come out ahead here? Elfi is throwing down the Nexus. He's rebuilt his base and is no longer being revealed. TLO, in the meantime, he's transferring... oh, no, he's just sending some units there. He's going to have control of the high grounds, but that's going to be tough. Looks like TLO is going to go for one big push to try and kill off his entire base. He's going to go for the full surround, it looks like. He's sending his units in every direction. And what's going to happen here? Elfi is going to have a tough time holding this off. Oh boy. Oh, he thinks he sees the whole army, but it's not. He's gonna go for it. He's got the full surround coming around on all these units. The Colossi, 52 kills on it. Will it survive? All of the stalkers are in a terrible position now. Terrible damage as they're all getting killed by these roaches. And it looks like all the roaches are going to die. Oh, man. This is such a close fight. I don't know who's going to win this. It's so close. Only a few roaches remaining and only a few stalkers. One colossi. What's going to happen here, guys? And with only a few roaches and a few stalkers left, what's Elfi going to really be able to do at this point? I'm not sure. TLO now trying to drone up some more. Elfi's Nexus finally finishing. And man, this is just an insane reset. Both players are at exact 20 supply exactly. The difference being that TLO is already mining from one base and he's got another one coming up. Now he's playing run away with these roaches. What can he really do to come back from this? He's got an Evo chamber which is going to bleed to death. He could save that. Well, no, he can't because he doesn't have a layer. All these roaches are going to die. And TLO is going to GG. Wow. Wow. What a game, huh? I'm not sure that was even decided yet. Well, let's try and look. I mean, let's see. TLO just has drones at this point. TLO only has drones. He's got 2 bases, though. He's down on supply. But Elfi, I think that this one Colossi is basically what won Elfi the game. So, wow, really well played by Elfi, just running around. That was very tense, throwing simulators down in every direction. And TLO just not quite able to do it, I guess. Man, tough game. I still feel like this game could have gone on for another 20 minutes or so if TLO stayed in it. But Elfi definitely did have the advantage because all he really needed was to hit these bases with that Colossi, and it probably would have been game over. So anyway, really well played by both players. It was a pretty cool base trade. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.